If you're a business owner, you need to pay attention because AI is moving so fast, and there are 5 phases of maturity that companies go through when adopting AI. And depending on where you are, tells you a lot about where you need to put your focus in order to improve. And where you are on this maturity level is going to be different at the company level and at the individual level. Like, send this to some of your employees and ask where they think you guys are versus where you think you are as a company, and your eyes will be opened very, very quickly. The first level is AI literacy. And this is where I think the vast majority of companies are, even if they don't want to admit it, which is their employees are still learning how to use AI well themselves. And once you get to a point where everyone on the team really understands AI, then you move on to the second level. And this one is context infrastructure, a little bit more technical, but it's when the team starts understanding that they need context in order for LLMs to do their best work. So they organize their ICP documents, they start putting together case studies and making sure that's in an organized place. They give AI access to the CRM and make sure that that's staying up to date, things like that. There's a little trickiness in the first 2 levels that I'll talk about in a minute here, but level 3 is incredibly important, which is AI workflow design. And notice how I use the word design. It's understanding where AI fits within the workflow of whatever task that person needs to do. It's designing the workflow with AI in mind, not just hoping that the people understand how to use AI and they do it a little bit differently every single time. This is more than just saving prompts, is what I'm trying to say. How you do a task when you're enabled by AI actually looks a lot different than how you do it when you're just using the human brain. I call that HI, human intelligence. Once you have some real competency around designing the AI workflows and people are executing on those workflows, you move to a really important level. I call this AI operations. And when you really mature in AI operations, what you start having are built out workflows that do specific jobs and serve specific functions, where the person who is responsible for that function now has a suite of workflows that they use in order to do that job. It does 2 things that are really helpful. One is it makes that person a lot more effective, but the second thing it does is it institutionalizes that process. So if that person ever leaves and you replace them, the process is already established and AI maintains a quality bar. Final level is agentic execution. This is where people want to be, but they're no way anywhere near close to being there. And this is when you have AI agents that are dynamic. They can change what they do based on the task, and then they can execute that task completely end to end. But if you haven't matured in the other levels, then you're not going to really be able to do this well. And that gets me to some of the trickiness in level 1 and level 2, which is you can be weak in level 1, level 2 for a specific task, let's say blog writing, for example, and be more mature in the workflow automation portion of that task, but you'll be capped because of the insufficiency earlier on. So that's the journey you're going down.